Last time we saw the low rate trickling filters, and then I also told that there are two types of filter, that is low rate and high rate filters. But before going to high rate filters, we should understand that what are the problems associated with this low rate filters. That's why we are going for this high rate filters. So let's see what are the problems associated. So first one is of fly breeding. So there is one specific fly that breeds in case of low rate filters. So this fly is called as Sycoda, and the breeding of this fly takes place when the thickness of biofilm is more, and this thickness of biofilm is more when the hydraulic hydraulic loading rate is low, and that is the typical case in case of low rate filters. So this fly will be breeding, I mean it will lay the eggs, and the larva of this fly will use the dead cells of microorganisms. So if thickness of biofilm is more, then obviously more microorganisms are available for the growth of this fly. So that's why it happens in case of low rate filters. And so to avoid that, what are the remedial measures? So to avoid that, the I mean water can be applied, I mean cleaning of filter can be done. For it is like flooding, with the help of flooding the cleaning of filter is done. So flooding is done for 24 hours in 1 or 2 weeks. Apart from that, water can be applied with the help of jet. So that way also we can avoid this breeding. Apart from that, chlorinating the filter influent chlorinating the filter influent, that can also help to avoid this breeding. Apart from that, DDT can be applied and lime can be sprinkled. So these are the remedial measures in the case of this fly breeding. The next problem that is associated with the low rate filters is of odor. So odor happens when there is anaerobic decomposition. And when will this anaerobic decomposition will happen? That, I mean it will happen when the thickness of biofilm is more, that we understood last time also. Biofilm is thick, then only the upper layer of this biofilm is of aerobic nature, and remaining layer the anaerobic condition develops. So if the thickness is more, then there are more chances that this anaerobic decomposition is taking place. So when the odor is too much, then we can say, I mean from that it is deducted that the filter is not working properly. So that is also associated with the rate of filtration. I mean when the hydraulic loading rate, or we can say hydraulic loading rate is low. So to avoid that, what are the remedial measures? So to avoid that, proper ventilation should be there, and to keep the proper ventilation, either air vent should be there, or we can reduce the filter depth. So this reduction of filter depth is the, I mean it is what happens in case of high rate filters. We reduce the filter depth, so proper ventilation is maintained in that case. And other option is of recirculation, that also happens in case of high rate filters. So recirculation we'll understand in some time. And the third problem that is associated with these filters is of ponding. So ponding takes place when there is excessive organic matter in the influent. That is, some fluctuation is taking place, and sometimes some more organic matter has come. So it will plug all these holes what are there in the filter, and the water will not be filtered properly. And what will happen due to that? It will first of all reduces ventilation, And apart from that, it also reduces the effective volume of filter. Effective volume of filter reduces, that is, let's say this is the depth of your filter and this is the layer of this filter material. Now because of ponding, all these voids are plugged. Now whatever sewage is coming onward and from this point onwards, it cannot enter. So only the biofilm which is formed on this top layer of particles, this is coming into picture to do the treatment of sewage, and whatever particles are there in this below depth, these are not functioning properly. So because of this reason, we say that the effective volume of filter reduces. So what is the remedial measure for this? So to reduce this, either jet of water can be applied so that the cleaning of filter will happen and the pores will open, and cleaning with steel bars also we can do. So obviously we have to clean the pores, that is the objective. So these are the problems that are associated with the use of low rate trickling filters. So these can be, these can be avoided if we are using high rate filters. So let's understand what are the benefits of using high rate filters. So whatever the problems we have discussed, from that 2 points are coming out. If we can increase the loading rate, then some of the problems are solved. And other than that, to have the proper ventilation, if we can reduce the depth of filter, then other problems are also solved. Reduce depth of filter. So these two things, or these two objectives, can be achieved with high rate filters. So let's see what are the benefits if we use these, this high rate filter. So first of all, because this loading rate will be high, so thickness of biofilm is less, because as this biofilm will form constantly, water is also coming in the filter and more water will be coming if loading rate is high, so this will be washed away before becoming too thick. So if it is not becoming too thick, then it is more efficient, because less bacteria will be available in this layer if it is less thick, and sufficient food can be provided for if the thickness is less. So that way it will be more efficient and less anaerobic condition will develop in this case. And apart from that, if we are using high rate filters, then area of filter is also reduced. Area of filter is reduced plus depth of filter is also reduced, and because of these reasons, cost of construction is low. Cost of construction is low. So what are the drawbacks here? So first of all, because we are keeping hydraulic loading rate high, so the contact time between the organic matter and this biofilm, it will be less, because it will be washed away in less time. So because of that, lesser oxidation of organic matter takes place. And apart from that, because this lesser oxidation takes place in the trickling filter, and we know after trickling filter water goes in secondary sedimentation tank, so the load on secondary sedimentation tank increases due to this. So these are the drawbacks, but to overcome this drawback, there is something, there is a thing which we use that we call as recirculation. So let's understand this here. What is this recirculation? So let's say this is your trickling filter, and before that we provide primary sedimentation tank, and after that we provide secondary sedimentation tank. So recirculation means that effluent from the secondary sedimentation tank, we will again, and I mean some of this effluent which is coming out of this secondary sedimentation tank, it will again enter into the trickling filter. So either it can be directly, I mean from directly secondary sedimentation to trickling filter it is entered, or it goes to the influent of primary sedimentation tank. So either of the two processes can be used. So that means, I mean that is known as your recirculation. So we can write the proper definition also. It means to return a portion of treated or partially treated sewage to the treatment process. So why are we doing this? So some benefits are there. First of all, we can maintain a uniform loading rate. That is, in case of, I mean if we are not doing this, then sometimes sewage flow can be less, sometimes it can be more, so that fluctuations will happen. And if we are providing some of the recirculated flow, then using that we can provide the uniform flow always. So this uniform loading rate is maintained. And sometimes sometimes the sewage which is coming as influent, it can have very high concentration of organic matter. So if we are doing the recirculation, then this concentration, I mean we can say the sewage is diluted. So because of that, sudden load does not increase on the trickling filter. And other important factor, because one of the problems was that lesser oxidation takes place because the contact time was less. So with the help of recirculation, the sewage comes into contact with filter more than once. That is, let's say in one time it was not treated properly, so it goes to secondary sedimentation tank, and from here again it comes to trickling filter. So again it comes with the contact of filter media, so it has more chances of getting treated. So BOD removal, we can achieve very good BOD removal with the help of this high rate trickling filter. But the nitrogenous matter, it does not get sufficient time for nitrification. Nitrogenous matter does not get sufficient time for nitrification. So for that also one solution is there. So two-stage filter can be provided for that. Two-stage filter. So why this nitrogenous matter is not getting nitrified? Because same reason, because the contact time is very low. And the reason for the contact time to be low is that because our hydraulic loading rate is high. Hydraulic rate is high. So we provide this two-stage filter. So in this two-stage filter, how it is provided? So first will be your primary sedimentation tank, then your trickling filter, then your secondary sedimentation tank, then again one more trickling filter is provided, and after that one more secondary sedimentation tank. So this is your second stage of filtration. So from here some effluent will be going back to this trickling filter, and similarly from here also some effluent is going back to the trickling filter. So this is your, I mean this is your first stage and this is your second stage. So that way nitrogenous matter can also be nitrified. First stage. So that's how this high rate trickling filter works. Now let's see the efficiency of this high rate trickling filter. Efficiency of high rate trickling filter. So that will depend, either we are using only single stage filter, I mean this is a separate unit, that I told you, this is the first stage. So only this single stage can be provided if nitrification is not so much of a problem, or we can provide both the stages. So efficiency of, let's see the efficiency of first stage. If two stages are provided, then the formula which we are writing is for the first stage, and if only one stage is provided, then also this formula is applicable. And E is equal to, given as E is equal to 100 upon 1 plus 0.44 U upon F, which can also be written as 100 upon 1 plus U is your organic loading rate, so that we can write as W upon Vf. W is the influent BOD, and V is the volume of filter. What are the units? For BOD it is kilogram per day, for volume of filter it is meter cube. Now what is this F here? F is your recirculation factor, and to find out this F is equal to 1 plus R upon 1 plus 1 minus F into R and the whole square of this term. So what is R and small f here? Small f is your treatability factor, and the value of this f for sewage, it is taken as 0.9. So we can simply write it as 1 plus R upon 1 plus 0.9 into R whole square. And what is this R? R is your recirculation ratio. That is the ratio between the sewage, recirculated sewage flow, whatever we are recirculating again in the trickling filter, divided by the sewage flow of raw sewage. So this ratio is your recirculation ratio. So using this formula we can find out F, and using other things we can find out the value of efficiency of first stage, either of first stage, or if only one stage is used, then also we use this formula. So now let's see for the second stage, that is we have shown here. So formula is almost similar. E dash is equal to 100 upon 1 plus 0.44 1 minus divided by 1 minus E into U dash upon F dash, or we can write it as 100 upon 1 plus 0.44 divided by 1 minus E into under root of W dash upon V dash into F dash. So small e here is, initially we saw this capital E for the first stage, we can write it as E1. So here also let's say this is E1. So E1 is equal to capital E1 upon 100. So what are these other values? So this BOD load on the second stage, it would be equal to BOD load on the first stage into multiplied by 1 minus E. So if E is the efficiency, then 1 minus E will be the remaining percentage of BOD, and if we multiply it with W, then we can get W dash. V dash will be the volume of second stage filter, unit are same, that is for volume it is meter cube, for BOD it is kilograms per day. F dash, again for the second stage we can find out 1 plus R dash divided by 1 plus 0.1 into R whole square, R dash whole square. So R dash should be the recirculation ratio for the second stage, recirculation ratio. So that way you can find out the efficiency of second stage. And if we want to find out, let's say this is your E2 here. So if you want to find out the overall efficiency, so what is overall efficiency? Let's say overall efficiency is E naught, so that is equal to W1 minus W1, referring to this as W1. W1 minus W1 into 1 minus E, 1 minus E1 into 1 minus E2. E2 would be equal to capital E2 by 100 and divided by W1 into 100. With this formula, you can find out the overall efficiency for high rate trickling filter. So in the next video, we'll see some problems, how to use this formula, how to apply these, and then we'll finish with the trickling filters and move on to activated sludge process. Thank you.